Doctor,
Mhm.
I have a question regarding the project.
Okay, go ahead.
For the project, like, is there like a specific criteria of the project that we need to choose, such as it need to be a project involving superstructure and substructure.
No, the main thing is I already say is actually this is for the assignment, right?
Uh,
It's going to be for anything with about 12, 12 major activities. 11 to, like -1 plus another 2 or 3 is 5. It's major activities. So altogether, whatever project that you do, whether it's a football court, whether it's a basketball court, whether it's a stadium, or whether it's a high-rise building, whether it's one row of terrace, one detached house, or two semi-Ds, or road work or construction of water pipelines, drainage by itself, drainage work like as in a full blast, few km of drainage work. All these all can. Okay, the nature of the project, as long as it's a civil engineering project, not some mechanical engineering, even IBS is fine. Um, as long as it's civil engineering is fine. Okay, but the main thing is you must be able to have 12, about 12, plus or minus 12, okay, of major activities.
The 12 major activities is in if it's in Microsoft project is considered as level 2 or level 1, Doctor.
One,
All right. Thank you.
yeah. Everything is level 1, and then you can break it down into smaller level. I don't count that small level. It's just like if you're building, let's say if you do a detached house, um, it can be foundation, it can be site clearance, followed by foundation, followed by first floor structure, or if you want to go a bit more detailed straight away, you can go like ground floor beam, ground floor flat, ground floor column, ground floor wall. That is about 6 already, you see. And then second floor, you have the ground, like blah 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 floor, and then you have the roof level, and then after that you can talk. If you really not enough, you can add in things like parameter drains, landscaping, sewerage, water pipelines, water reticulations. So this easily, I think you'll be making up about 12. Yeah. So it will be something like that. So for even very, very civil work kind of project also can, then you will have things like site clearance surveying, and then followed by mobilization, followed by different layers of the roads, so the construction of different layers of the road, or you can go by chainages. So it depends. I mean, I've seen a lot of examples of how people break it down. I mean, there's no strict rules. It's basically your a test on not a test like a judge of how much you have learned from doing work breakdown. This is like a hands-on doing work breakdown. Yeah. So like I said, it's the first layer, meaning that the major activities. A lot of you actually start to email me asking me, oh, can I do this project? Can I do this project? It's not really about the project. It's really about the activities. Okay. So you don't really have to get my approval for the project. I mean, unless the project is so small, you yourself also, the heck, cannot even break it down into more than 8 or 6 or 5, or 9, the maximum you can go is 9, some people last time in the previously there's some people who show me like macam like a little storeroom like that, a storehouse like that, So that one is like they add up everything. Also, they cannot get like even the detail activities. They all add up also cannot get 12. So then you cannot break it down anymore. So basically, those major activities, I would expect to see some breakdown. So I would expect to see there will be some level 2 as well, and even up to layer 3. Um, I'm expecting to see that. You see, so but the calculation of the detail is like how I look at it is how detailed it is. Is the guideline is about 12 layer 1. So you don't mix up all your activity, layer 2, layer 3, all add up to be 12. No, it's only layer 1. Yeah, anything else?
I think that's all from me. Thank you, Doctor.
Okay. No one else has any question? Later on you keep on like messaging me, doctor this, doctor that. Now give you time to ask question you don't want to ask.
I have another question, Doctor.
Yes.
Um, for the time estimation taken for an activity, is there a guideline, a specific guideline for the time taken? For example, if one part.
You see, you're not listening. You're not looking at the activity. You
Sorry,
are not
Doctor.
listening to the lecture. Okay.
Sorry.
Uh,
I haven't
main thing
reviewed this.
is, remember the guideline in the assignment guideline that I posted. I asked you to do production rate.
Sorry, Doctor. I will
So
review it this today.
you take a look at your assignment sheets. Inside there, besides the word breakdown, after the word breakdown, I will need you to actually at least do some resources. No, man, let me check. Unless I miss it out. Let me take a look. Remember in the class, I say the most basic of all this calculation is to do your production rate. Without production rate, basically you cannot proceed anyway. Okay, right. Okay, so my assignment questions, I didn't actually put exactly how to do that. So yeah, that is my miss. Okay, let me share the assignment sheets with you again. Okay, so I do actually have it here that says that you have to carry out 12 to 15 major layer 1 activities. Okay, layer 1. Okay, not layer 1 activities. So this is the first thing that you do. This is what you have been asking me just now. And then now this bit is what you're asking me now. So basically, how do you do this? You see, how do you do this? You have to refer to your week 4. There was last week's lecture whereby I actually gave you, where's my week 4? This one. So you have your WBS, then you have your resources, okay? Your resources, which include, I mean, here, I don't expect you to do like, really, really high level kind of estimation, okay? So basically, it's a practice. What you need to do is you just have to agak-agak put in how many workers, how many group of people, it doesn't matter. This is not like any right or wrong, the main thing is I want to see the process of how you arrive at the duration. Okay, so you can do it. Material, you definitely need to have the quantity, because without that, there is no quantity of work. You see, in this formula, there's this bit that is quantity of work. Okay, and then production rate, again, there is no right or wrong to this. It's an estimation. You can get it from contractors, you can get it from your friend, or you can base it on your own experience. You can look out for people we have done LI, just to get an idea of how much it is to pour a concrete, how the working rate, like some of the production rate for machineries, you can actually just get it from online. You can actually get it from catalogs of machineries as well. So all this tool here, you see, in my assignment, I did not actually put down, carry out a resources planning, carry out production rate calculation. There is previously, when I set the assignment, that I put these two things down very clearly. That means I expect a very, very detailed work. Okay, so here is just to provide an estimated duration of the activities, which you have to go back and look at this, no doubt. Okay, but like I say, I did not specifically write this down. So when I don't specifically write it down, I'm just expecting a work process. It's just like a process that you go through. I do not expect you to give me a perfectly correct 100% estimation that is well proven and all that. At the end of the day, basically what I'm looking for is to test you on, how to take the formula of production rate and then calculate the duration. And basically, it's only these 4 green things that you are doing for up to here. Up to here, production of Gantt chart. Yeah, Hisham, have I answered you?
Yes, thank you, Doctor.
Okay, so take a look at the assignment first, and then take a look at the notes as well, okay? Any other questions regarding assignments? No? If not, then I will move on to our usual class. You can put your thing in the chat as well later. Sorry, I have somebody at the door. Just give me a minute. There's nobody at home, so I need to go and open this, okay? Okay, right. I'm back. Okay, right. Can we actually look at our notes now? Okay, there's some questions here. May I know that do we just take our IDP project site layout plan and do the assignment, or we just take the archi drawing? This is a very funny question. What do you mean by site layout plan to do the assignment, or we just take the archi drawing? Like I said, well, what is your project? You have to know, I don't know what is your project. So what is your project, my dear? Is your project overall the whole IDP assignments, or is your project the structural? When you're choosing the project for this particular assignment, you need to know whether you're going to be doing for the whole IDP, like maybe, the different parts of IDP, which means the civil as well as the water, civil road, all these things, or are you doing it for the archi? Are you doing it for structure only?
Doctor,
Yeah.
what I mean is, we just take the archi drawing and then we calculate based on the archi drawing to do the assignment, or we just like take the slides. What I mean for site layout plan is all the house is already inside. Let me share the screen here. It's better.
I think I know what you're trying to say, okay? If you decided to take your IDP project and the whole site layout plan, if you're showing me the whole site layout plan to do the assignment, then I expect work breakdown will be including the structure, the road, the water, everything.
I mean like that just this is my site layout plan, and if I take this as my assignment, will it clashing with my other team member? Because like 7 members is inside the same group, and 7 of us will take the same map.
Everybody can take the same map, but I believe if you do all your own individual work, you will end up with a different looking work breakdown structure,
Oh, just so is it okay for us to take the same plan lah?
It is okay. It is okay, but like I say, you would not exactly have a exact. This is talking about the small assignments, right? Not the big assignments, right?
Yeah.
The big assignment is the one that I'm going to be asking you to use your IDP project. Honestly, for me, I don't think you need to use IDP project for this one lah, because it's a bit too big, it's a bit too big.
Oh, okay. So for assignment 1, we just take the archi drawing lah.
You can just use archi drawing, because hello, you are a civil engineering drawing. You are a civil engineer here. So archi drawing is not your job. You actually get your archi drawing from someone else, you see. So after you get your archi drawing from an architect, okay, if you are going to do this assignment, you're going to be doing the structure, the building and the structure, okay? Don't talk about architecture plan.
Oh, okay. Thank you, doctor.
Okay, so sometimes I don't know why engineering students get a confusion that, like when they see the architectural plan, they think that this is their plan, So then you start to want to use it for your assignments and all that, and then put it in your assignments and all that. honestly, I'm not interested in architectural plan, you know. So I'm a civil engineer. I want to see structural plan. So if you are going to do the structure, your assignment is going to be the structure, like the houses that you show me just now. For IDP, you're going to do 2 of the semi-D or, you know, 1 row of the terrace house. I want to see the structural plan. Okay, so your
Okay.
work breakdown, you will be looking at the structure, the beam, the column, the slab, you know, the wall, you know, and then the roofing systems, you know, all that sort of things. Okay, that is structure. You show me architectural plan, then later on your work breakdown, what are you going to do with it? Doors, locks, toilet, features.
Oh.
You see, architect is architect, you know. Engineers is engineers, okay? You take the plan, you are basically taking the architecture plan, no doubt, you need architecture plan to actually do your structural plan. So when you see the architect's plan, where is their room, where is their door, where is everything, then you start to put in your, this is where your beam is, this is where your column is, you know, I need to prop this up, I need to put 4 columns, and then where my footings will be, you know, and I have an opening here, so my wall will have an opening. That is where your calculation comes in, you see. So please, by all means, don't sorry, I've got this Adela here saying something about if anyone inform you about the recording file. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, that's another thing. Okay, right. Yes. So basically, yeah. So Pete, yeah. What is your full name again?
Dan Hangzhou.
Panzo. Oh, okay, Panzo. Yeah, you are my mentee. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, Tang. Yeah. I mean, you'll be showing me in the drawings later on, or the background of the project later on, more onto like the structure plan. Okay. So if you're going to be using structure, just then you'll be talking about beams, columns, and all that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you decided to do structure, just get some dimension out, you know, just do a very simple structural. I mean, if you don't have a structural design, just do a very simple layout of your structure where your beams and columns are and all that. Just give me some sort of dimension, that's fine. You know, at the end of the day, I'm not testing your structural calculation skills. You know, I'm looking at your project management skill, which is to come up with that duration. But because to come up with that duration, you do need to have the quantity of work. Without the quantity of work, it's difficult for you to do your production rate calculation. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, doctor.
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, I want to remind the 105 of you here today that, you know, don't limit yourself to architectural plan. At the end of the day, architect is the one that produced the architectural plan. They will pass it to us. And then from their AutoCAD drawing, we will be generating our structural plan in order to build up that particular building that they want. Okay. That's why in some bridges, they are sometimes designed by architects and sometimes designed by engineers, you see. So architects are the ones that design very, very fancy kind of bridges, and then engineers come in to make sure it will stand up, you know, where are the piers, where are the, you know, roadway and all that, where are the sides of the, you know, embankment, all things. So it's like, it's engineer's job, you know, we deal with the soil and all the way to the above. So we don't get that confused, you know. A lot of students like to show me architectural plan and say, oh, can I use this for my project? So basically, you are trying to tell me that, doctor, I want to do structure, okay, not architect, okay? So if you are doing an architectural plan, meaning that your work breakdown structure will be consisting of things like doors, windows, ceilings, you know, floor, rooms, you know, that sort of thing. So it's a whole different thing, yeah? Okay? And Adela, okay. Sorry, oh, you mean the recording file is not properly uploaded, huh? Okay, can. I will take a look after the class and check that. Sometimes it's because I posted up on YouTube, and then YouTube here did not finish processing, and I already given you guys the link. Okay, so it's good that you remind me. Okay, so I assume that everybody has already gone through and finished listening to the last, I mean, on Tuesday's class, the lecture. Okay, anyone who hasn't listened to it yet? Because if not, then today's lecture is going to be quite funny, it's going to be quite meaningless in that sense, if you don't have it. Okay, so I will again show it to you what we have gone through very quickly. You will see that the first lecture, I mean the first recording that I gave you is a bit like a repetition of what we did on last Thursday. So again, it's like a reminder of last Thursday, at the end of last Thursday. So we started off again at the beginning of this week, whereby we emphasize on, trying to, because I've already, up until last Thursday, Dr. Lee has already presented to you how to use Microsoft Project. So basically, I assume that everybody knows at least some form of ways to do Gantt chart, okay? So Gantt chart is already finished. We're not going to be dwelling on Gantt chart, and you already now also have an assignment on Gantt chart. And the procedures of doing that is basically in week 4, duration calculation with production rate lecture notes here that I've shown you, this one page that I've gone through with you. So Gantt chart is already settled. And then on Tuesday last week, I also mentioned to you that there's more than one way of doing schedule, and Gantt CPM or critical path or network method. Network method with critical path analysis is another method of doing scheduling. Okay, so what happened is what is a network? So what does a network look like, and how you're going to be running your critical path method on a network. So we already said that network has two types of network. There's arrow activity on a node or activity on the arrow. There's two types of network. They are all the same. It's just to present the whole picture, the whole layer one of your the whole layer one of your project in a very pictorial format. Okay, so drawing network is a challenge because you really need to think about interdependency and parallel activities. And if, let's say, there are circumstances whereby you are only given the list of activity, or you come up with the list of activity and you have to convert that to a network. Okay, and in exam, sometimes we will give you all the activities with all the predecessors and successors and all that, and then from there you have to figure out how to draw a network. Okay, so again, majorly is the students always have problem drawing the network. You see, so that's why for your assignment this time, you will see that I also gave you critical path with layer 1. So meaning that I do not only expect a chart, I also will need to see network. Okay, so this network later on is going to be like a one-page drawing of your network and your calculation of your earliest start, earliest finish, latest start, latest finish. Okay, this is actually a pair work. You see, pair work meaning that it will be two of you doing it together. I hope I did mention that. Yeah, it is in requirement. It is pair work. So if this is a single work, I'll probably just stop at Gantt chart, but this is pair work, so I do want you to delve into critical path analysis. And to give you a tip, okay, to give you a very, very good tip, because the assignment is going to be due on the 30th of November, meaning that you would, if you have done it, if you're hands on it, you would have done critical path analysis for your own network. Okay, and what is the benefit of this? You would have already done the revision for your test 1. Test 1 is going to be on the 7th of December after you come from your holiday, and basically you will get a very simple net calculate. Okay, So if you have done it, that means you probably have done the revision. You have already know how to do a network. So you have already done maybe half of your revision for time already. Okay. So something that I'm hoping to get, like I like to, for me, I'm the type that I like to kill many birds with one stone. So the assignment is going to help me to kill some birds with the test, and then if you have followed through with the notes carefully on the calculation of production rate, etc., you will also have basically finished your one question. There will be two questions on the test later on, and one question will be based on time, one question will be based on cost. Okay, so you have probably done, like, if you do this assignment, like really carefully on your own, by the two of you work it out together, do it nicely together, then you will learn already how to, the test is probably already 70% done. It's an online face-to-face 2-hour test. Okay. So again, everybody needs to have a camera. I hope you all have a camera. You have to on your camera. It's an online face-to-face. It's not a take-home exam. Okay. Right. So with that, I've already shown you an example on A or N activity on the note. Okay. So there is a few things. Okay. Right. So wait, I didn't give it this. Where's my week 5, week 5, week 5? Okay. This set of notes basically, after explaining to you how to do a network, there is do's and don'ts of what you need to be careful. You don't cross, you don't branch out, you don't go backwards, you don't do like, double layer kind of work. So these are typical, and these are some of the terms, and for the questions that you need to answer me later on, you need to know how to write what is total float and what is free float. So these are all the definition of how A or N looks like. This is node diagram, a proper activity on the node kind of way of drawing. Okay. And then you put your activity here, you put the numbering of the activity, the activity ID, ES, EF. This is the key. Okay. So if you hand in your assignments later, I will expect to see a key. So if let's say we make it fixed, let's have A or N as your assignment. Okay, when you do your critical path, use A or N. Do a nice box with all these things inside there. You can use Excel, like I show you here. If you use Excel, you can actually just take something like this, and then break it down into your ES, ES, EF, your activity ID, your activity name, and then your ES, LF, LS, LF. Okay. So then you can make it into like a box. These are very, very good tools. Actually, we use this a lot. In fact, and this is one note already. So I think this is a very good way of presenting. Using Excel is a very, very good way of presenting. If you align everything up nicely, you can even do like direct this minus this equal, this is equal to what minus what, So it makes things a lot simple in that sense. You even calculation wise, you can get Excel to help you to calculate. So it's a matter of how you map out your network in that sense. So I think we stick to that for your assignments. Okay, doing A or N instead of A or A. Personally, I like A or N a lot better because it's very neat. A or A activity on the arrow can be a bit of a busy thing. Okay, it means if the network gets really big, it can be a bit difficult to to really digest through all the information. Okay, so in the lecture we went through all this. Okay, and then this is an example. And in the lecture there was a recording 3 where we do the forward pass, and then we also in recording 4 we did a backward pass, and recording 5 we did a total what is total float, and then what is free float. Okay, so I think this is what we have covered in the last recording. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 recording on this particular example. Okay, so I don't want to repeat this again and again. Some of you who has listened to the recording, you probably find Dr. Peng so loso one. How come she always talk about the same thing, you know? Then, but the problem is I so loso, there'll still be some people asking me the same question, like 2 weeks down the track, you know, kind of thing. Yeah. And you know, not same people, same questions, and the questions is repeated many times. Okay, so right. And any questions on AON, the example of AON. So this is AON example, very simple example. And then I also have, I didn't post this one. This is also another example tutorial for AON. Okay, so basically I have got this whole list of activity here with the IPA. And then this is how my network will look like, because I say activity A is after A, there's no IPA. B is after A, you know, and then C is IPA is B. So basically you have to follow through this. This is a tutorial that I didn't do any recording, so I think I'll just kind of like quickly run through it here with you. So then you have your activity E, F, G, O is all based on your IPA of D. So meaning the E, F, G, H is going to be behind it is all going to be D. And then from I, you're going to get IPA is H. So I, H, you see? And then roadwork is after we finish G, H, I. So roadwork is J. So G, H, I. Finish, then you get J. And then K is after E, F, J. So after E, F, J is K. You see? So basically, is first, if you do a network, if you don't have a network, like in your assignment later, you don't have a network, nobody gives you a network, okay? So from your activity, you have to line up all these activity. There's 13 activities, the count of 13, pretty much like what you're going to be seeing in your assignment. So then you need to decide on what is your IPA. As a project manager, this is your job. And then the duration is what you have already calculated in your production rate. And then after you've drawn your Gantt chart, right? After you draw your Gantt chart, all the layer one has a final duration that is based on the addition or the, you know, interdependencies, everything all add up together. You have your mobilization, your earthwork, your foundation, your, you know, whatever work kind of foundation, the work that is ongoing, okay? And then your layer one has a final duration, and that is the final duration that you key in into your chart here. And then from here, after you do this, you know, after you play around with this, I like Excel. If I put it up and down like this and I don't like it, I can shift this, you know, I can shift it here, you know, I can shift it there, you know, I can shift my eye, you know, behind, you know, kind of thing, you know. So I can shift things around, you see, you know, and play one way or another. So this one I like it. Instead of taking a piece of paper, you draw, not right, you throw, you know, putting it on Excel. Once you've got this thing out, you will need to convert it into proper notes, and then duration is here, D, the duration. Okay. You can even do like merge cells as well. So this is going to be like one ID, and or you put the name, you know, like site mobilization. Really nice, you know, it's really nice to actually do this. Okay. And then you say, okay, my ID is A. So I put A here. So duration is actually 1. You see? Beautiful, isn't it? So you've got like this, or in the center. So then later on you take this and then you go, okay, now I draw my B. You see, you just take it nicely in one of this corner here. And then you just copy and paste, isn't it? You know, here, paste again, and then you change your B. Yeah. and then this is 3, and this is gonna be upward. Da, da, da. Okay? Don't you just love Excel? So it actually saves you a lot of work, in a way. So based on your draft of drawing it like this, you are going to be converting it into a network, okay? And this network is whereby later on you'll be applying all your calculation that I've already shown you here, your forward pass, this is your forward pass, and this is your backward pass, okay? So for a tutorial, I will post this up as well to let you, I forgot about this actually. I will post this one up, and I will put it up on today's on Thursday, so you can take a look at this. This is going to be very, very similar with your assignment, okay? And you can take this as a background to work on your assignments later on as well, yeah? And just now, Kang was asking, can you all use the same project? Yes, you can, but you can use the same project, but everybody's definition of the project, when I look at a project and when you look at a project, it can be a bit different. So the project, yes, you can use the same project, but then I'm sure you need to do your own work breakdown. From your own work breakdown, you will be doing your your own calculations of production rate and all that. So then everybody's assignment will look very different actually. Okay. So I think here in the notes here, I also have previously, I've also shown you some work breakdown, I think it's in week 3, I've also shown you some resources data sheet and some work breakdown sheets, and all that. So I think this one you really need to go back to week 3 and look at how we do work breakdown. And then from there, you go and look at week 4 of how we do. You see, there's some Excel sheets here. So the notes here, WBS is how we did a work breakdown. We can use this kind of layering method, or we can do this like one indent method or color coding method. In Primavera, they like to do color coding. Layer 1, 2, 3 is different color code. So again, this method, and I've also shown you, I've also, like in all the Excel sheets, you're getting all the examples, you see. So don't later on say that, the give example ones. Now I already gave you a lot of examples actually. And even there's a combined resources sheets, and there's many ways here, I've shown you some how people did their work breakdown. This is how some people do their work breakdown. This is 20 over pages of different assignments of how people do their work breakdown. Okay, so yeah, there's plenty of examples that you can take a look at. Okay, so yes, and okay, so these are all in the free. You take a look at your Excel worksheet of how people do work breakdown, and and then after that, we also in the same worksheet also we show you how to do resources breakdown, and then after that, production rate calculation. You need to look at week 4. Okay, week 4 work file production rate duration calculation. That is the most basic. We've gone through that in a very, very detailed lecture last Tuesday of how to do production rate calculation and production rate calculation, and how we can also add in things like factorings. I'm not even asking to do factors, and get a second draft, and then use risk management index to get the final draft. So there's 3 more. If you're really careful as a scheduler, you will go through all these steps. But I am, for assignments wise, only up to duration, which is the draft 1. Okay. Then from today's lecture, you will get this. You will be using this sort of techniques to actually do your Gantt chart, which is your part 2 of the assignment. Okay. So I think this is really clear. I hope like really, really clear. If you do bring your ears to the class, I think you should be okay. Okay. Then after that, okay, any questions on A or N? Any questions at all? I will answer another round of questions. No?
Hello, Doctor.
Yeah.
This is Dian.
Yeah.
I would like to ask regarding the overlapping, just like there is an example on AON lecture note, which is there is -4 for the overlapping. Is it necessary to put the overlapping value, and how to do it?
You mean negative? No.
Yeah,
You
the
mean
4 is the overlapping.
no? This one is it?
No, the on AON. Yeah, -4 that one.
No, this one is calculation of free float. Free float is not overlapping. Okay. Maybe you didn't really hear the lecture because it wasn't posted out properly. So free float is actually like this. I will do this calculation with you guys. This is a good question. Okay, free float is like activity. At the end of the day, free float. The meaning of free float is the amount of time that is allowed that you will not, the activity will not, amount of time that is allowed for the activity not to affect the following activities. Okay, following activities. If we're talking about free flow, is the amount of time that is allowed that will not affect the whole entire duration of the project. There's this two different. One is about entire activity, entire project. From like any part of the delay will actually affect the whole entire project. If it's a float is like you imagine floating, nothing holding on to you. So it's like all this extra time that you have that will actually affect project. Total float is whole project. For free float is the next activity. So if I am looking at free float for every one of these activity will okay. So total float and free float. So besides ESLF and LSLF, you also have total flow and free flow. So free flow is basically, if I look at this activity, what is my free flow for A? My total flow for A is 6 and 6 is 0. Okay, so you know how to calculate that. Huh? Then after that, my free flow is to take the subsequent activity or the succeeding activity. There will be two succeeding activities here. Okay, and one of them is, this is actually wrong. Sorry, you have to delete this. Sometimes the notes are this is actually wrong. I always want to say that this is wrong, but I never go and delete it. Okay, unfortunately, sorry about that. So basically, you need to take the succeeding activities ES, which is this one and this one. This minus this is 0. This minus this is also 0. So there's no choice at all. Okay. But if I look at this particular activity, I want to find the free float for this particular activity. I will need to find the subsequent activities ES minus of the EF. So basically, you can take 15 minus 11 is 4. Okay, meaning that you have extra 4 days. Meaning, why we put negative? It's just like you are giving yourself 4 days extra leeway. Okay, leeway. This meaning that before you can use up this quota of 4 days before you will affect installation. So if my fabrication here, my free float is 15 minus 15 is 0, meaning that my fabrication has to be done correct, I mean like on time. If not, then the whole project, if I delay fabrication for 1 week, I will delay installation for 1 week. I will also delay the whole entire project for 1 week. But if I delay my foundation work for one week, let's say all these are weeks, huh? So if I delay my work for 1 week, because I have a 4 week extra. Okay, I delay it for 1 week is okay. So even like in this case, let me show you. I am waiting for my fabrication to be ready. Then my foundation is actually ready already. So what happened is I've got extra, after you calculate this 15 minus 11, you've got 4 weeks extra, 4 weeks negative, meaning that you've got, in your bank, the extra kind of money, extra kind of days that you're putting in your day bank, day bank as in, like time bank instead of money bank. Okay. So you've got a 4 weeks. So meaning that in these 4 weeks, either I complete my foundation work really fast, and then I will move on to, I can get my guys to go to another site for 4 weeks and for a whole entire team here of carpenter, bar benders, and all that. If you want them to go to another site and work for 4 weeks, you can. Once their foundation work is complete, they can leave the site and they can go to another site which you have multiple projects on, in order for you to work on that site, if you don't have enough of people working in case. So this is how why we want to know our free flow, because we want to deal with multiple projects. We want to know that if it doesn't affect going activities, it doesn't affect the whole entire project, it's okay to actually, if it's not on the critical path, I can rearrange my resources. Okay, so I can get them to come back after 3.5 weeks, and to get ready for my fabricator to come, and then they will together do the installation and testing and commissioning. Okay, so that the end, do I answer your question on this -4? So this one is not -4, there's nothing here, this is 0. Okay, and then total flow, the free flow for this particular item, okay, will be going backwards as well. Yeah, so this one is ES, the ES minus of the EF. Okay.
So the free float should be put on the network or on the table?
You have to do it on the network. You
On
have
the
to look
network.
at the network to do it. Okay. Whether you put it on the network or put it on the table is up to individual. You can put it in, normally presentation wise, we will put it in the table. For your own management, for your own understanding, we will also put it on the network itself. But we normally don't want to mess up our network and show people our messy network.
Okay, Doctor, thank you.
Yeah, that is the point of doing free float. Huh? So I hope everybody do understand how to do forward pass and backward pass. And for the key things of doing all this is actually to put yourself in this situation. This is exactly, what we always say. Don't put yourself in that situation. Don't put yourself in this situation. But for network, we have to put ourselves in that situation. For free float calculation, for ES, LF, forward pass, backward pass, LS, LF, we always have to put ourselves in that particular position. Okay, put that situation in that position, then you can do your calculation. Okay, so you don't go and look at the whole messy things like 20 steps forwards. After you've done your calculation, after you've done your network, you have to go one by one, especially those that have two, that have two succeeding activity or two preceding activity. In this case, have two preceding activities, some have like two succeeding activities. These are some of the or 3 succeeding activities or 4 succeeding activities. If you look at this network, when you are going to be doing the backward pass for for some of this, or the forward pass for some of this, or the total flow for some of this, you see in the end, when you're doing the free flow for this network later on, you have this one minus this one versus this one minus this one versus this one minus this one versus this one minus this one, and take the minimum out of the 3. That is the formula. The mean of all the succeeding activities ES minus the EF of the current activity that you are looking at, that you have positioned yourself in. Okay, and any more questions? If not, I will move on to AO. AOA, there's an example of AOA. Okay, so with the examples of AOA, basically this is how I've got the list of activities. If you look at the week 4 notes, I have a CPM critical path analysis that is based on all these activities. So you go back to that notes on week 4. It's a week 4 class notes, okay? And then inside there is a description of all these activities. And basically this is AOA. So you can see that all the activities are actually on the arrow. You know, the note is basically just an indication of the event, you know, just like 0, 1. It's just an ID basically, you know, and a note ID is not an activity ID. So the activity, you can also have it in A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. You know, you can do a whole list here like this, you know, and then you use your A, B, C, D, E, and then you can place it on your arrow. So activity on arrow are basically putting activities on the arrow itself. This is the only difference. But unfortunately, AOA do need to have a lead time, meaning that you need to have a time where you say start. This is what we call a start. Because activities are on the arrow, unlike on the note, it is always imperative for you to have a lead time. Okay, so we call it start. Even a start is an activity. Okay, so then the other thing is to show some relationship that is affecting the other relationship. We will need also to have dummy activity. So these two things, dummy activity and also the lead time, is something that you would not see in AON. Because activities now are on the arrow itself, sometimes we want to show the relationship between this activity and this activity, we will need to have a dummy activity. Okay, and this one here, okay, this is the difference here. So the major difference is when you do AOA, you have to be a bit wary about peak time and also the dummy activity, if especially you need to show that relationship, because you cannot have another arrow pointing to this particular section. This is actually like this follow this, but this one also affect this, you see. So we will have to take another activity to show that relationship, and that is what we call a dummy activity. Okay, and it doesn't really happen in AON. That's why I like AON better. Okay, so once you've got your network down already, then you will be putting in your duration. Okay, you'll be putting in your duration, and this duration is actually like all your duration that you have already calculated. So say if you have this diagram here, then you want to do AOA, then you put your duration here. So basically lead time and duration, there's no value, and dummy activity also there's no value. It's just zero. It's just basically 0. Okay, so after you put the first step, do your network. Second step, put your activity on the arrow, and then put your duration under the arrow or above the arrow, whichever, under the arrow. Then we will do a simple analysis of having a little cross on top of all the arrows, and that cross basically have four sections. ESF, EF, LS, LF. So then you do your forward pass, and then you do your backward pass. Okay, and then here, let's say I do my forward pass. Okay, so I will run through the forward pass with you again with this particular example, and then you will really know how to do forward pass. Right? I've done the forward pass for AON, I've done the forward pass for AOA, I've done the forward pass for backward pass, and then backward pass for AON and backward pass for AOA. So, you all should be knowing how to do backward pass and forward pass very well now, okay? The hard thing about forward pass and backward pass is about the number of succeeding activity and preceding activity that you need to look at. Okay, that I think some of you will be confused. And I'm sure a lot of you are confused at this point in time. Okay, so for this lead time, basically it's 0. We start off with 0 for forward pass. So I need you to listen to this very, very carefully, or go back to the recording and keep on replay it if you don't understand. So lead time is 0. So we have 0, 0 plus 0, okay, that is your ESLF, ESLF, ES. My pronunciation is, I really do, when I do this one, I always feel like I'm doing a tongue twister here. Okay, then for this particular activity, okay, what is the name of the activity? I think it's a fabrication or something like that. What is your ES? Your ES is you have to take the your preceding activity. How many preceding activities does this activity have? Only one. Okay. This is the part that sometimes some students are really confused. When I reach here, I will ask them, how many preceding activity do I have here? They will answer me 1, 2, 3. Not like that. Direct immediate preceding, there's only one. If you look at this as a node, this is out. So what I'm asking is how many ins are there? So there's only one in here. So if there's only one in here, you take 0, cross it over to 0 plus duration is 3. Here, how many preceding activity do I have? I don't have much. I only have, I've got 0. I only have this one. So 0 plus 2 is 0, 2. Okay, then I look at my dummy activity and I ask myself, how many preceding activity do I have? I am the dummy activity, okay? So I am the dummy activity. I'm sitting here. I position myself on the dummy activity and I ask myself, how many preceding activities do I have? And I've got only one, okay? And I've only got one here. And this one, so you copy 2 over 2 plus 0, 2. So then when I come to this part, how many preceding activities do I have? So you guys, you tell me, how many preceding activities do I have here? Anyone want to give it a shot? I don't have to be resorting to code names, do I? For those of you whom I know your names, you'll be very dangerous because they'll be on my head very fast. If I'm positioning myself on this activity of 2, 4 here, okay, this activity, how many preceding activity do I have? How many activity comes before this activity? If you guys can't answer this, then you have a big problem, it means you don't understand.
1, Doctor.
1? Why is it 1? If you look at this activity, there is actually 2 activity here. 2, yeah, so there you go. Okay, so there's 2 here. So when there's 2 here, you need to choose which one? What was in the lecture notes? What was in the recording that I was telling you? E for what? Somebody wants to give it a try? So when I have 2 preceding activity here, there is 2 and 3 that I need to copy to choose. Okay, I need to choose my ES from my preceding activity. I've got 2 choices here. So which one do I pick? On what basis do I pick?
Based on their time to complete.
Which is the maximum?
Maximum, yes. So yes, I was going to call you actually, Joey. So yeah, you actually hand in yourself. So okay. I wouldn't use the word maximum time to complete. Okay, so yes, not to say I don't want to use the word time to complete. It sounds really, confusing. Maximum is a good word, but yes, normally we will pick the bigger one. Okay, so here we've got 3 and 2, you see. So when I have a choice, here I don't have a choice. I only have one succeeding activity. So I just have to copy it over. I just have this one also, I have to copy this down only, you see. So here I've got 2, and the choice is 3 and 2. 3 and 2. So E is elephant. Elephant is enormous. Enormous is always pick the bigger one. Okay, pick the bigger one. Okay, so pick the maximum one. Correct. Okay, it's maximum. So maximum LES, EF. Okay, so maximum EF, earliest finished. So it's 3. Okay, so when I look at this activity, there's some people are always confused with this as well. So now, how many preceding activity do I have? How many activity comes before this activity? Mary, are you here, Mary? No, you're not here today. Is Mary Tang here? Sue, are you here, Sue?
Yes, doctor.
Yes, Sue. What do you think, Sue? When you're looking at this, if you're looking at the screen now, I'm asking the questions of how many activities come before this activity. Look at this
2.
note. That is the usual answer that I get. Why? Because you saw this one here as well, is it?
Yeah.
No, because you see, preceding means that these happen and these two happen, you see. So for this one, there's only this one. You cannot see this as preceding because this one is the same time. See? If you look at the arrow, in, out, in, out. Okay? So this preceding is this. This preceding is also this. Okay? So this preceding, because the arrow is going outward, it is not preceding. Okay? A lot of students get this wrong as well. So you need to look at the arrow very, very carefully. Okay? So this one here, only one preceding activity. Is only one activity that comes before, because this one is not comes before. This one, it comes at the same time as this one actually, together, out together. So you cannot count this one. Okay, so here is you only have choice of one activity. So 2, 2. Yeah, this one is simple. How many activities? Only one. So 3, 3. Okay, and here 0 plus 7. There's nothing preceding or whatever here. So 0 plus that, 0 plus 7. And then here, okay, now we come to this part here. You've solved this. What about here? How many preceding activity do I have? So you want to give it another try? Now I'm here now on this dummy activity. How many activity before this can happen? Don't know? Joey?
One. One. Yeah. One. Two. Two.
Two, huh?
Yes.
Okay, so if you're going to say one, I'm going to knock you on your head because this is very clear. Okay, so this is actually one. This is the activity we're looking at. You are standing here, okay? And then when you turn your back, you look, there's two that must come before you can execute this one, okay? So two. So when you have two, what is the choice between 4 and 7? So what is the choice of ES? 7, bigger one. We just answered that one for this one just now. So 4 and 7, you pick 7 and then you move on. Now here you've only got one activity before two, sorry, you see? I even get confused. So with this one here, this activity, you have to ask yourself, when I'm standing here, I look back, how many must happen before? So this one must happen before, this one must happen before. There's 2. So when you have a choice of 5 and 7, you pick the bigger one, and that is 7. 7 plus 1 is 8. And then you move on. These 2, you've only got 1, copy over. This one here, you've got 1 and 2 as well. Don't count this one now because you see this one also going up, this one also going up. This one and this one is abang adik, not this one. Okay? So then here you also pick the bigger one, 7. And then when you come to here, there's 2 activities that comes before, and then 9 and 8, you pick 9. Okay, that is how we do our forward pass. The principle for AON is also the same. Okay, this one is a very simple example. This one gets more complicated because of more preceding, more succeeding. As the network get more complicated, your complication with forward pass and backward pass is to carefully detect which one is the succeeding, which one is the preceding activity, how many of them, and pick the right numbers. That is the hard part. That is a part that hard. Mathematically, it's simple. It's only plus and minus. But it is hard because sometimes a lot of you are very careless. You don't really look properly at the pointing of the arrow or the activity, how many activity that comes before. Like the example in this tutorial that you see, some of these, when you actually reach like J, when you want to count J, there's actually 3 activities that comes before J, and then you need to pick the bigger one. If you miss out on any one of these 3, then you will pick the wrong number. Hey, you've got 2 preceding activity, E and F, that comes, no, 3, you see, I even missed it, you see, so E, F, J, there's 3 that comes before K. So when you count the ES, you need to look at EF, 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 these 3 EF here before you can pick the biggest of them all, the maximum, or the elephant, or the enormous of them all. Okay? So this is the bit that you need to be really careful. That's why more practice. Sitting down here listening to me talk without practicing is not going to help you. I can honestly tell you that. Okay? And then we will also have the backward pass. Backward pass, the first rule is copy this down, minus this. So 10 minus 9 is 1. And then when I place myself, you're going backwards now. When I place myself in this position, how many succeeding activity do I have? I only have 1. So you copy 9 over minus 1 is 8. How many succeeding activity do I have? I've only got 1. When I'm standing here, how many ahead of me? Only 1. 9, copy over 9. Okay? And then minus 1 is minus the duration. Yeah? So here also is the same. It's simple. There's only 1 that comes after 8 minus 1 is 7. Okay? And then I look at here, how many succeeding do I have? How many succeeding? 1. Any more succeeding? No more succeeding. Only 1 that comes after. So This one here is 7, copy over 7, set 7 minus 0 is 7. Then when I'm looking at this activity, how many succeeding do I have? I've got 2. Yeah. So there I have to pick the choice of L for liter, small, Mr. Liter, okay? Liter 7 and 8, smaller one is 7. So 7 minus 1 is 6. Okay. Then follow on this activity, how many succeeding? If I'm looking at this activity, how many succeeding do I have? I've got 2 succeeding again. Okay. 7 and 8, I also pick 7. Minus 0, 0. Okay. And then I look at this, only 1 succeeding. I look at this, only 1 succeeding. Okay. Don't say 2 because this arrow is pointing inwards. It's not going outwards. When I look at this, how many succeeding do I have? Only 1. When I look at this, how many succeeding do I have? Is 2. Okay. When I look at this, how many succeeding do I have? Only 1, because this is together in 1. Okay. Look at this, there's 2 that comes out. Yeah. That is backward pass. Okay. So have I confused you enough? Okay. That's why I say this week you have to bring your otak, you have to bring your brain class, you have to bring your brain when you're doing the recording. Okay, so cannot just minty, okay? So I know some of you are probably very, very confused now. I don't want to go any further. It's 11 to 4. I think I will just stop here for this class on AOA. So today, basically, we've kind of go through AON and go back to your recording. I'll double check on the total flow and free flow again. Okay. Then you all listen to it again and get yourself totally clear up on this matter. So this week, for pictorial format, for network format, you've learned AOA and AON, activity on the arrow, activity on the node, how they look and how different they are, and the difference between the 2 of them. Okay. Then after you draw your network, the next thing is to apply critical path analysis. Critical path analysis is forward pass, backward pass, total flow, free flow. Okay. So for AON, you have an example in the recording that talks about the whole entire AON applying CPA on AON. Today's AOA example shows you how to apply critical path analysis onto an AOA. So you guys need to get this sorted out totally clear, okay? If you are not clear, we have to continue to do this until you are clear, because this is important, okay? I cannot go and talk about resources planning, resources loading and leveling, and how to level resources, how to rearrange resources on multiple projects and all that without you understanding all these things. Okay. And the final thing that you need to understand from CPA, critical path method or critical path analysis, is total flow and free flow. Okay. So go back to example through again, and then this negative flow is not supposed to be here. Okay, and the rest is probably 0, 0, 0. Most of them are actually zeros. Okay, and then after that, try this out over the weekend. Get it, make sure that you get all these numbers here. Okay, that you can fully succeed to get all these numbers here. And then try out this example as well. Okay, to actually do this. If you can do this nicely, I can tell you later on your assignment is pretty much almost done. Okay, you can use the same format, but changing all this activity, changing the IPA, but then all this little note is already done. So you just have to shift them around, rename it, and reanalyze it. That's all. Okay, so please, over the weekend, get this sorted out. Okay, this is my task for you all. Yeah, so girls and boys, okay, not ladies and gentlemen, I'm giving you homework, okay? So next Tuesday, you must come and tell me whether you can get all the numbers or not. Okay, you must come and tell me, because if you don't come and tell me, and you don't say, you don't understand there's problem, like some of this you can't get the numbers or whatever, then we can and answer you on that. If not, I really don't know if you really understand, because it's not the few questions that I ask everybody. Most of you are like, some of you are even missing somewhere, on space, and some of you are like not really getting it, even though you answer it, but you didn't really get it. You see, so you need to get this right. Okay, because it's going to be on test, it's going to be in assignment, it's going to be in exams. Okay, so this is something that is going to kill you, if you don't get it. Okay, but it's going to make you if you get it, because this is right, it's right, wrong is wrong. There's no such thing as half right, half wrong. Yeah. So either you score in this question or you don't score in this question. This in exam is 7.5 marks out of the whole entire exam. I mean, out of the whole entire marks, 100 marks that you have. Okay, and this in the test is going to be about, the test is 15%. One question is about 7.5. It's about 5 marks. So altogether, add up, you're going to get about 12. And with your assignment, you're looking at about, no, test is fine. Something like that, never mind. You're looking at about almost 15 to 20 marks that you're going to know how to do this or don't know how to do this. Yeah? More or less, about 16 to 17, 18. Okay, and I actually gave you a 2% bonus marks in ELIC, that if you do it, I won't even look at whether you do it correctly or not. As long as you do it, your assignment is there, you hand it in, you get a 2 marks extra. Okay, 2 marks extra. It's not divided by 2. 2 marks is a 2. Okay, 2 means that if you get 68, if you do get 68, normally I don't bump you up to 70. But if with that 2 marks, you can get 70. It's one great difference, my dear. Or, any more questions on that? So I think that's really what we need to do for this weekend. Okay, so our own, you think about what you want to think about first. Let me get this one out first. Your QR code. Are you guys confused? Are you scared? Are you like really worried? We have to talk. I cannot just keep on sitting here thinking that you'll be worried, but actually you're not. Thinking that you don't get it, but actually you got it. Or no, thinking that you get it, but actually you don't get it. I don't know. This online thing sometimes is really not helping with. In class normally I will go through with you guys. I'll walk through with the classes and all that. But here, it's just not possible to do that. Why is everybody so quiet this morning? Anyone have any issues that you want to talk about on project management, assignments, IDP?
Don't worry, doctor. I think we just need some time to digest those confusion.
Okay, good. Okay, that's good. I mean, yeah, I think so. You all need some time, but try to catch up with the time because we really cannot keep on jumping to new things, when you are not clear with the old things, you see. So I need you to be really, really well clear up with the old things, like because next week I'm supposed to be talking to you about resources planning, but resources leveling and resources leveling and also loading and all that. So this is about multi-project tasking and all that. So without understanding free float and total float, you find it very difficult actually. You find it tough to understand the next lecture kind of thing, So then you don't have much time to catch up. So we really need you to catch up, you see. And if you're going to leave all these things until the end to actually study for it, then you will probably, not probably, you will be very, very confused with the load of the whole mass amount of work that is available, that you need to understand and go through, and you just can't get it, I mean, like, without, you'll probably not be able to get it at all, if you don't really follow through, since day one kind of thing, And I reckon that's why people fail, because they didn't understand certain things. They leave it there, like time management. They just completely leave it on one side. And then after that, we move on to cost management. And in cost management, we will have things like EV technique, which they probably didn't understand as well. And some of these are actually interconnected with one another. And when it comes to exam time, 1 week period, the study week, they pick up the books and they try to go through everything, and they cannot manage it because it takes time to really wet through every single thing and join things together. So it's best when you do this when it's really fresh on your mind. That we teach this today and you go back and look at it, get it all sorted out over the weekend, and then you understand everything and you move on to the next thing, So that would be a better way of approaching project management. You may think that everything is open book now. I just have to copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste, but it's not true. A lot of questions is going to be based on application, and you will have issues if you don't know the knowledge of how to twist it to apply onto something, you see. You're year 4, this is not really about memorizing anymore. Okay. One, I open your QR again. Anyone else who hasn't clicked in yet? Did Dr. Razak post up the link for IDP already? I've also given it to Anna, so Anna probably has already linked it up to everybody. The link that we had on the class that day, the 2 hours class that we had, with me non-stop talking. Did you guys got that link already? Anyone who else don't get the link? Attendance group 2, anyone else who hasn't punched in just now? Group 3, get ready. Anyone from group 3 who hasn't punched in just now? Okay. Now I'm going to close everything. Okay, and then somebody tell. I will open up the group 3. Anyone needs anyone need this manual? No? Okay. Move. Amir Harif, your name is here. You're not here, huh? Group two, calling group 2. Anyone who needs manual attendance for group 2?
Hey, doctor.
Who are you?
Fair
Serial number or name?
64729.
Erlickson.
Yeah.
Okay, done.
Yeah.
Honey, Nora, not here, is it? One, anyone who needs manual attendance, just got your mulut.
My name Dr. Amir Harris from Civil 3.
See, just now I already opened Civil 3 leh.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Doctor. Misheard just now.
Anyone else from group 1 need manual attendance?
France Alion 66003. Thank you.
Done. Next Tuesday, I think we will have our normal class. We should have our normal class because it's going to be about resources. So it's better to have online face-to-face. Actually, next Tuesday, I am being called to be a speaker for the Board of Engineers Malaysia. The Board of Engineers Malaysia actually is doing a convention in Sarawak this year, and I'm asked to be the speaker to talk about the Sarawak construction industry. At first, they tell me that it's going to be morning, okay, and if it's morning, then I will have to cancel the class. But so far, they've changed the talk to afternoon 3 p.m. So I think if I can, I will also get the link for you guys, and you guys can join that convention as well for the afternoon sessions. It's going to be about what the Sarawak construction is like and such as opportunities that are available. And I actually requested, if it was during the class time, I actually requested all of you to join on that day itself. So that is like our class as well already. So normal class, but just that particular class, okay? But in the afternoon, if it's going to be in the afternoon, I will have to inform Anna because this people is a bit messy now. They just let me know 2 weeks ago that they want me to be the speaker, and it is nice. I mean, like I'm actually talking about Sarawak and our opportunities and all that here, and it is a very honored thing, to be representing Sarawak for the board in the Board of Engineers. Hopefully, we can actually get more benefit and all that for future engineers like yourself. Okay. But yeah, like I said, if it's in the morning, then I will shift everybody over to that sessions lah, as a quick also as a class lah, basically lah. But I think it is a bit messy, so they said that now. So I'll let guys know. Okay? Which is which. By Monday, I think I should know already by Monday. If by Monday I still don't know, I think these people are really like, no hope already here. Okay. So that is what is going to be happening next week. But on Thursday, class will be definitely as normal. I will see, it should be by Thursday, I should be Thursday, I should be doing cost management already, and I'm actually arranging a speaker to come and talk to you about some of the industry-based sort of problems with BQs, and what do's and don'ts that you should do with BQs, and also costing. So I think I'll probably finish costing with you first, and then I'll get the speaker to come right before your semester break. Okay, I think so. Yeah, next week is next week, so it's on the 24th, I think, or something like. I'm really confused with my time. Okay, so it's okay. I'm so busy now that I'm like so messed up with my timing. So next week is going to be the convention. So either we have the class or we don't. I'll let you know on Monday, and then even if there is no class, I will shift you guys over, like I said, to that BM convention to let you feel how all the professional engineers are all day, which you will be joining. You must be joining. All of you will be joining the board of engineers. None of you can escape that. Otherwise, you cannot practice as an engineer. So it's good time to go out. So 16, either we have a class in the morning in the BM convention, or you have normal class, and then you all can join the afternoon thing. On the Thursday, I'll be doing a normal class in costing. 23rd, I'll be doing costing with you. I think I will shift the speaker's talk if he can make it to the 25th of November. So that will be before your break week. Okay? And then after your break week, during your break week, you need to hand your assignment. And then during your break week, you need to hand in your assignment. Your break is 27, right? All the way to 2nd, correct? Not? Oh, wait. 29, all the way to 5th, right? That is your break week, correct? Not? And then 7th December, you'll be having your test, huh? No sem break this year? Are you sure? Habis awal-awal, is it? Really?
Yeah, doctor, there's no sem break. Yeah, I mean mid-sem break.
Oh, so you
Yeah,
probably finish all your classes by beginning of January lah.
yeah.
Okay.
Semester break will start on 31st January.
Mm,
That's the only break we know.
okay. That's fine then. If no sem break, then we just proceed like usual. No problem. I'm fine with that. Okay. Right. So that's it. Way forward, your schedules, everything. We see how we go. But on the 7th of December, we definitely gonna have a test. It's already been arranged. And then if you don't have a camera, go and get yourself a camera. Okay. I don't know. Too many of you to sponsor, but you have to get one because it's online face to face. And I'm just checking the chat box now. Okay, so Mary's got Wi-Fi problem. Okay, it's fine. Okay, so I'll check on the recording file, and you watch out for this recording and some of the posting today, huh? Okay, so happy weekend. I'll see you next week. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. If
Thank you, Doctor.